And we're live. Welcome to the Lakers Late Night Podcast. I'm Anthony Irwin. I am joined by Harrison Fagan. Harrison, the Lakers won. The Lakers won. I don't even know how do we host the show? What do we do now?
I don't know. I'm just confused and broken and just emotionally distraught a little bit because I just don't really know how to handle this. It turns out the previous 8 times have not prepared me.
I mean, I guess with practice makes perfect, but we just never get to practice this kind of thing.
We aren't getting any consistent reps, and it's really a problem.
And every time we start getting better at it, we get benched.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start. We were going to start somewhere else, but I wanted to start with this tanking thing because it's become annoying. I think it's reached that point where I get annoyed with when I hear all the tanking talk. Look, as it stands right now, the Lakers are in the second spot in this tanking order. They are 8 games or something behind Philly. They aren't going to catch Philly in terms of losses. They could move everybody. They could pull a Philadelphia, and even with Byron coaching, they aren't going to catch Philly to get that top spot. And the Brooklyn Nets.
They sorry to clarify that they are, I believe, 5 games behind Philly.
Oh, 5 games.
But regardless, that it doesn't take away from your point. I just wanted to clarify.
That's them. Facts are important. Byron will say they aren't, but they are. The Nets, how far behind the Lakers are the Nets then? I think they have what?
The Lakers are now 9-31, and the Nets are 10-28. So they are closing.
They're closing. But the thing with the Nets is
New Orleans is now going to be 11-26 after this game. Tankathon has not updated yet, but
right. So the thing with the Nets is they are a team that needs to win. There's no reason for them to lose these games because their pick is going to Boston no matter what. Right. So They fired their general manager. They fired their coach because their entire franchise is sick of that kind of losing. Just period. And like I said, it doesn't benefit them. And then with the Pelicans, if Anthony Davis can never play a week straight in the NBA, they're going to get better than the Lakers. So you're looking at a 2-way race in which the Lakers aren't going to catch Philadelphia. And even then, it's, as it stands right now, it's a 57% chance that they keep their pick. It's like playing against the house and casino. I don't understand this disconnect that people are lost on when it comes to the tanking thing.
And the thing, too, that you have to keep in mind is if the wins are – it's one thing if Byron Scott is going with a lineup down the stretch of, let's just throw it out there, for example, Roy Hibbert, Brandon Bass, Nick Young, Kobe Bryant, and Lou Williams. Mm-hmm. And they win the game. Then, okay, yeah, you have a right to be mad because not only is he damaging the franchise in the short term, but he's doing so in the long term as well by hurting their pick odds with a bunch of guys that aren't going to be around. But if it's like it was tonight, where it's 4 rookies and sophomores and Lou Williams closing out a game, I don't really think that you can be too upset about the Lakers winning on the backs of their young guys for the most part.
I completely agree. And,
we got the Randall Nance front court down the stretch. It doesn't get more experimenty than that. That's what we want to see.
And they did a lot of the things that you would hope that a Randall Nash front court would do, is that they were super active. Sure, it was kind of ugly, and the game itself was a dumpster fire, but it was fun. It was fun.
The offense, it's kind of like we all predicted, and I wrote about this a little bit after the 16-minute debut of it the other night. They look a little bit better offensively, and on the other end, Randall is definitely not a rim protector. I think that we can say that.
No, he is not. He is not.
The T-Rex arms thing has become a parody at this point. It's not a real issue for the most part, but that is one area where it's a bit of an issue. He's not a rim protector. He's likely never going to be a rim protector.
Now, there is some nitpicking to be done when you're talking about, D'Angelo Russell not playing in the fourth quarter. Well, he did play in the fourth quarter, but not playing down the stretch of the game. But even tonight there's an inherent excuse as he comes back from the first time. I think I read somewhere.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You were about to give him an excuse, and I can't let you do that. After the game, Byron Scott on taking Russell out in the fourth. I just want to get that experience of Lou settling the guys down and getting those clutch buckets. Somehow that's a real quote. So I know you were about to defend him and say that Russell's coming off an injury. You got to take it easy. He would have played, I believe, 18 minutes straight if he had continued to play down the stretch of that game. But not as we should have guessed with Byron running Kobe into the ground over the course of this season. It was none of those reasons that D'Angelo Russell sat down the bench. It was we needed those clutch buckets from Lou Williams. When D'Angelo Russell had just, I think, hit like 3 of his last 4 shots, if I remember correctly.
My dog was sitting right next to me when I was talking about Byron, and she just now went across the room because she's a little worried that a blow up is about to happen, and she's right. I was about to give the character of some kind of benefit of the doubt, which he definitely hasn't earned. So that's shame on me for doing that. I was going to say
all you were trying to do was reason with the facts that we had and like be fair, I guess, and say maybe there were these other reasons for it. Not everything has to be here's what Byron Scott did and here's why it's the worst thing in the world. But in this case, that's pretty bad.
And the other thing too was that New Orleans had a lineup out there that you could have had all 3 of them out there at the same time. Like let's say you don't want Anthony Brown out there on the court, right? Because he hasn't been in this situation very often.
Although he was playing very well tonight.
He did. And that the defense, the recovery he made on Tyreke Evans to challenge the shot there is why you would want him, why you would want that length, right? So that's understandable. But for whatever reason, like this is it fair to say it's a little weird? Like it's a little weird between Byron and D'Angelo Russell at this point. This weird, like, you don't understand what it means to Laker. Those quotes about the Boston Celtics rivalry.
To me, it seems like it's one of those things where he's just taking, and I think we've talked about this before. He has this idea of what a young player is going to be like and how tough you have to be on a young player, and regardless of what Russell does, he just keeps trying to jam that square peg into that round hole.
Yeah.
He's punishing him for things he hasn't done yet.
Right. It's basically
the Hollywood thing. I don't remember if I don't think that was a direct quote from Byron. But that was a leak earlier this year. Was that the Lakers were worried that he had went to Hollywood. Right.
Here I was in a good mood. I was in a decent mood. I was trying to stay calm because, now we're going to talk about something that really, really.
You were so happy 5 minutes ago.
I was. Fucking Byron. Like, fucking Byron.
Hey, whoa. We're gonna have to beep that in post-production. Get on it, Drew.
I don't understand this guy. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, all right, in a game where Kobe goes out because he's been run to the ground by this prick, you just like, you have the opportunity to say, all right, well, cool, Kobe's out of the game. Now we get to focus on the other more important issue in this season, which is developing the rookies. And guess what you do? You don't. And man, all right, we're gonna have to.
He did a little bit. He left 4 of the young guys out there. We got to keep that in mind. But yeah, that quote makes it look really bad.
Really, really, really bad.
And when we had all these contextual reasons why this was fine in this case, and he just ripped the noose straight out of our hands, set it up, and jumped right into it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Byron. Moron. All right, so we'll get to an issue that didn't even need any contextual, understanding. It was just stupid from the get-go when he was doing it, which was how he was managing Kobe Bryant's minutes. And now Kobe has an issue with his other Achilles, which doesn't take, a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on there.
Really quickly before before we continue, the standings just updated just to get everyone clear on this. The Brooklyn is 2 games back of the Lakers. New Orleans is 3.5 games back.
Yeah, and
in
both
the tank
teams.
race. So
both
it's
have
the
impetus.
Lakers are fairly settled into, and the Lakers are 5 games back of Philly, so they're fairly settled into that 2 spot still.
Right. For now, basically the way I'm treating it is last year I would freak out anytime we would get anywhere near the 4 or 5 spots. I would go nuts. Right. I'm the guy who helped found Team Tank, the at Team Tank, and we did these podcasts because of that, because we wanted to talk about tanking and we were getting screamed off the internet. Now
there's really something wrong with us, but yes.
Yeah. Now it's the opposite. And people people just don't understand math, apparently. People just these analytics.
I get it. I get it. People want the absolute. They see that pick as salvation, just like it was last year. But this year it's just a different situation, especially again if the wins are coming on the backs of mostly these young guys and Lou Williams, who I guess is technically a long-term piece for the Lakers. And again, the biggest thing, Anthony Brown played well. He got to play down the stretch because Kobe was, and it was only because Kobe was. Kobe would have been out there hero balling the whole time if he was not hurt, which we'll get to in a minute. Clarkson had a bad game and got the chance to go back in because Russell had played so many minutes, and I guess Byron wanted to leave Lou Williams in there for clutch buckets. And most importantly, we're continuing to get to experiment with this Randall Nance front court, which is something that the team needs to play around with Randall because of his stature, really projected to be part of this core, and he's played very, very well at times this year. And Nance coming out of nowhere to force his way into that conversation. They need to figure out if these guys can play together. And credit to Byron for doing it at the 4 and the 5 and not at the 3 and 4 like he was initially talking about, which would have been so dumb.
Ryan Kelly's out there just drinking whiskey.
Ryan Kelly is shooting guard. We figured it out. He didn't need to go down a position. He needed to go one more up.
Oh, poor Ryan. You dookie. The other thing, you made all solid points regarding the tank. And the
only kind of points I make.
All right, that ends the show, guys. We'll talk to everybody later. Hey, Lakers Outsiders just got on Time Warner Cable. There you go.
Hey, I made it on earlier. We hit it big.
Hey, that blogging night was one of their few wins. But we keep getting tangential. But yes. All right, so the other point that I think should be mentioned too regarding the draft picks this year is that by several accounts, next year's draft class is significantly better than this year's. Everybody, and rightfully so, the numbers that Ben Simmons is putting together are insane. And his shot does look salvageable, which makes him a very, very, very intriguing prospect, right? But he's going number 1. And if the math plays out as it should, Philadelphia is drafting Ben Simmons next year.
Yeah,
right?
but if karma plays out as it should, Philadelphia is drafting 4th.
That'd be great. And you have Ingram from Duke, right? Who?
Oh no, that means they're taking. I just realized I jinxed that. They're definitely getting the Lakers pick at 4th now. Since I said that,
that's on you.
So that's my fault. That's on me, Lakers fans.
When this happens, that's on theirs.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Go ahead. I'm very bad at this.
You have Ingram, who's also there, right? At number 2, he's a small forward, which fits what the Lakers are trying to build right there. And then all of a sudden you have a lineup of all very good draft picks. If Jordan Clarkson, if that draft class was redrafted, he'd be a lottery pick. So you have
easily.
Yeah. Right. So you have a complete lineup of lottery picks, which gives you all kinds of flexibility moving forward and blah, 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 blah. But if the Lakers do lose this pick, that means next year they keep it. And while it probably won't be in the high lottery as it has been in recent years, because you would have to think the Lakers will probably make some kind of free agent move, that's still a chip that you have in your hands almost guaranteed. I don't know the exact protection on it, but I believe it's pretty much unprotected next year. So if they lose the pick this year, it's not nearly as devastating as it would have been losing the pick last year when you had, guys like D'Angelo Russell, Kristaps Porzingis, Jahlil Okafor, Karl Anthony Towns on the board throughout the draft class.
Yeah, and last year's draft was much deeper. So there's something to be said for that. Even if the Lakers had just stayed in the top 5, they still would have gotten a really good player. Yeah, this year in the top, if you miss out on Simmons or I guess Ingram, I haven't watched a ton of college basketball, just full disclosure yet, but from the sound of it, the draft class is not quite as deep. Even necessarily if you're drafting 3, it sounds like there's a pretty big drop off.
Right. If they draft 3, as it stands, I'm fine with them trading the pick if they keep it. They'd have to acquire another first round, either that or they'd have to trade the player that they actually draft. But I'd be fine with them trading the draft pick this year because, like I said, I'm just not that impressed with this draft class, and I'll probably get shouted off of Twitter for saying that kind of thing.
Yeah. Now that being said, it would be great if they got the pick. That's a great asset moving forward. But if they're getting these wins on the backs of the young guys, you have to take the long view of it and say that that's a good thing that they're developing well enough that they're getting some wins.
Yeah, this is nowhere near the situation we had last year where Ronnie Price was playing over Jordan Clarkson in the fourth quarter after Jordan Clarkson played 3 other very solid quarters. This is nowhere near
Jeremy Lin or whoever. But and then also the other thing is Darius Soriano, who is pretty much just Lakers Twitter's voice of reason, I guess, pointed out this is a team that we thought was for sure going to lose their pick going into the season. We thought that there were people saying this team was going to be in contention for the 8th seed or at least win like 30 games, in which case they weren't going to get their pick, barring a miracle.
Consistency is overrated, though, Harrison. Why would anybody have consistency?
It's like all of a sudden that they started out bad, everybody jumped back on the team tank. And again, I see that. The pick would be a great thing to have. But like I said, if they're winning on the backs of the young guys, I can't see it as a bad thing.
Right. Yeah. And and again, like you and I, you, me, Gary, Ryan, Matt, that other guy that was there for like a week, we were Team Tank. Like it was Team Tank. We had our weekly shows where I would scream at Byron for not playing Jordan Clarkson and still, managing those stupid wins. That was a thing. This year it's just nowhere near that situation. And it's not because I got sick of rooting against tanking. It's literally the math doesn't work out. The young kids are playing, and the draft class just isn't that good. All right, we got to stop.
If the Lakers are in second, then they only have a 55.8% chance to keep their pick. That's barely better than a coin flip.
Right.
That's a slightly weighted coin flip.
It's like it's literally going to a casino and putting $100 on either red or black. That's basically it. It might be slightly better.
It's flipping a coin, trying to catch it and see feel which side you have quickly, and then slamming it on your palm to get the win.
Exactly. So yeah, just stop it with the tank stuff, please. Everybody, stop it with the tank stuff. And I think
Mike D'Antoni's a good coach. But he's not getting Philly to pass the Lakers. I'm sorry. Him and Ish Smith are not driving that train past L.A. It's just not happening.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Sam Hinkie would go down there and fire Mike D'Antoni in the middle of a game if he thought that was going to happen.
Just the process. All right. Something that we do feel more adamant about, and we started to allude to, we got back to the tank stuff, but Kobe's minutes.
Yes.
Like Kobe's minutes, and it's been a theme all effing season. I'm keeping this safe for the kids, folks. I do this for the kids. I don't understand it. This guy is in his 20th season. You guys saw the tweet that Baxter sent out that was also through Positive Residual, who is a really, really, really good follow. Really smart stuff coming out of there.
Yeah, they got those hashtag analytics that everybody talks so much about.
It's literally a graphing calculator. What a graphing calculator would tweet.
It's fourth down bot for NBA analytics.
This is all in jest. Like I said, Positive Residual is really, really good. Kobe is in his 20th season, and they compared the number of minutes he's playing compared to the other players that have ever played a 20th season in the NBA. And he is averaging, 10 and a half more minutes per game than the second place person, which is effing, it's a 50% increase. He's playing 30 minutes. Everybody else is playing 20. And we're somehow shocked, or the Lakers, the entire inept organization is shocked that somehow this guy might not make it through the year.
It's not only that, but he has the highest usage rate on the team, and it's went up since they changed the lineup. His minutes have I did the math on this earlier this week. His minutes have went up by about, I think it was two or 3 minutes. He went down. He's playing about 2 or 3 minutes less since the lineup change, but his usage rate went up. Let me see if I can find this. Give me a second. His usage rate went up from 28.9 with the original starters, with Russell out there and Randall out there, to 32.3. So they're just running him into the ground more efficiently since that change. It's like I wrote a column on November 21st talking about Byron Scott, saying that these big minutes weren't going to be a problem after he played Kobe, 37 minutes against the Toronto Raptors. And that was 2 games, because Kobe sat out the next game after that Pistons game where he said he could barely walk to his car. But 2 games after Kobe said he wasn't looking forward to walking to his car, he played him 37 minutes again, and then got frustrated with the media when they questioned whether or not that was the best idea.
It's just, I don't, there's this, it's like watching college football. They ask you to make these, take these leaps in logic that I'm just not willing to take. And it's just frustrating when you're watching this guy who is literally a bungling idiot run one of the greatest players in NBA history, somebody who everybody who watches the Lakers is hoping just makes it through to that last game. So you get that moment of him walking off of Staples Center for the last time, completely on his terms, as the Lakers season comes to a close, and you get that torch passing, and that entire moment is probably going to be ruined by Byron Scott being a complete moron time and time after. Like tonight, Kobe sat after playing 16 of the available 24 minutes in the first half. That's insane. It's just stupid. It's and the other Achilles is apparently acting up. Jen is a doctor of physical therapy, but you don't have to be one. Anytime you get hurt on one side of your body, the other side is going to start breaking down because you start compensating for the injury that's on that other side of the body.
I could tell you from personal experience right now, I broke my foot and I am limping around, and my other leg is starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, and that's how the body works. And either the Lakers physical training staff is stupid, and I like to make all kinds of jokes about Gary Vitti. I love to. He has that rusty old machete that he just goes and chops off limbs with, right? But I'm
not gonna say right to that. No.
Honey, who is at BLSS blog, said that this is the second time in a week that a Laker tried to play through injury and had to come out in the first half, right? Because they couldn't, get through a game, meaning that injury management is just piss poor. It's not good. And I'm sorry if I sound ruffled. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm yelling at people, but this guy isn't going to make it through this season. And if the Lakers' sole priority is making sure that this farewell tour goes off without a hitch, then do whatever you can to make sure that occurs, right?
Give him a little bit of rest now. I get that it's bad for the fans that want to see him the last chance that they may get in Milwaukee or in wherever, because I know them. I just know the Milwaukee one's coming up off the top of my head, but it's just not worth it. I'm sorry if this sounds selfish or whatever, but Lakers fans deserve to give him that last standing ovation against Utah at Staples Center, and just let's get him there. And to do that, they're going to have to chill out on playing him so many minutes, and maybe even give him a week or two rest now. You have to take, even though he's retiring at the end of the season, you have to take the long view of it.
And even if it's like,
Byron Scott is already saying right now that he's not sure if Kobe will play at Golden State. He just shouldn't play. If he didn't feel like he could go tonight, what makes you think that after traveling up to Oakland on like less than on about a day's rest, day and a half's rest, he's going to feel like it's going to be at a point where he can play?
And here's the thing. And I hate bringing this up because I don't want to jinx it, but picture how phenomenal, how incredible that image will be at the end of the season when you have Kobe waving to the fans, and it'll be all kinds of dusty in all kinds of households throughout the Southland, throughout the country, throughout the world. That moment is going to be incredible. And, you know, he deserves it. The Lakers fans, like you said, deserve it. Now think about how terrible the moment might be if he goes down and this other Achilles snaps as he's compensating for the one that already did. And I'm like, that is, if I'm the Lakers, I'm freaking the hell out, because at that point, if that's everything that you've invested this entire season on, if that's exactly what you've banked on and what you're saying takes priority over your future, then it's a complete squandering of a season, and everybody involved has to be fired. Everybody, the training staff, Mitch, Byron, on the spot. Like, everybody's got to go, because if this guy goes down on, you know, in the middle of a game with that kind of injury, and the moment that everybody deserved, that this entire season is literally building towards, is squandered, then mission completely failed, or mission accomplished if you're George Bush. But mission completely failed.
It's got political real quick.
And like I said, I don't mean to yell at people, and I don't mean to sound overly emotional about this thing, but everybody involved is being ridiculously stupid. Either, like you said, you can either sit him out for a couple of weeks, make sure this guy makes it to the end of the season, right? Or you manage the guy's minutes to where he's only playing 20, 25 minutes a game, especially in home games, because who cares? Like, really, who cares? And if anything, he becomes more explosive in the minutes he's actually playing, right? Yeah. So it's just the entire Kobe situation. And I love the guy. The guy is easily my favorite player of all time. And like Dave Schilling said on my last show, it sucks to be a Kobe fan right now, because you're rooting that he sits. And that's the situation that Byron has put people in right now. And well done, Lakers. Way to go. Anything to add to that? I'm sorry, I just ranted for like 15 minutes.
No, that's your skill set. That's why you're on here. No, you hit the nail right on the head. I don't have anything to add to that. It doesn't make sense to me what they're doing right now. Just allowing him to continue to play and continue. I get it. He wants to give all of these fans a last chance to see him, but it's just not worth it if it means that he doesn't finish the season on his feet.
Completely.
And maybe it won't end up meaning that. Maybe we're just, screaming into the wind for no reason. But it doesn't seem to be heading that way. He's just accumulating these injuries, and you got to think eventually one of them is going to be bad enough to hold him out. And you just hope it's not for the whole season.
Exactly. We were gonna bring up Anthony Davis, but we're right up against the half-hour mark of the show. So next time we talk, I'll talk about Anthony Davis and the concerns that are kind of going on there. Lakers win tonight. What was the final of the game? Do you have it in front of you?
The final score of the game was 95-91.
There you go. Lakers beat the Pelicans. They are the Pelicans tonight because they could not beat the Lakers.
They're honestly the Pelicans this season.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, New Orleans.
The Lakers face off against the Warriors on Thursday in Golden State. Kobe's last game in Oakland. You would have to imagine he's going to try to go there. Let's just hope they're smart about it. As soon as some kind of tweak or whatever occurs, just get the guy out. Let him, get a standing ovation and all that at the end of the game if you want to try to do that. But just make sure this guy makes it through the season. And do you have any quotes for us before we go off?
I think I did a good job tonight of weaving them in as they came. That's really all that I got.
Was there any probing on the part of Now I'm seeing Kobe didn't speak with reporters.
Yeah,
that's good.
Byron said he didn't know much of anything. Kobe just said that he could. Kobe told Vidi that he couldn't go to start the third.
That's
or Vidi told Byron that Kobe said that Kobe couldn't go to start the third. And Kobe just left early.
That's certainly interesting. That's something to monitor. If Kobe can't even talk, Kobe's had taken every opportunity he possibly can to talk to the media this year. So that slight red flag there. Keep an eye on that one. All right, that does it for us tonight, Harrison. Thank you very much for
and also one more thing, given how much we talked about Russell tonight, but he just said that while he said that he's not thrilled about not getting to close out the game, but he is happy that they won.
That's good stuff. And that kind of goes along with the stuff he's been saying and the tone he's been saying it on all season, right? When they win, he's pretty chipper.
Yeah.
All right.
These kids, they wear their emotion, and I say kids being like 4 years older than them, but they wear their emotions on their sleeves.
Well, so am I. So do I, apparently, based on how the show goes.
Yeah.
That is Harrison Fagan joining us as usual, my loyal and great co-host. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. This show will air tomorrow, meaning Wednesday on iTunes. Make sure you guys check out the Dave Schilling show, the Lakers Lounge with him. He was phenomenal.
It made me laugh out loud multiple times. And I say that plugging it as someone who was not on it and gets no benefit from it doing well. It was very funny.
He's legitimately, he should have way more followers than he does, and he should be on way more shows that he goes on. He's absolutely incredible. That was Dave Schilling there, Harrison Fagan. I'm Anthony Irwin. We will talk to you. Irwin. I said Irvin for some reason. I messed up my own name.
Always changing your name.
We'll talk to everybody on Thursday. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Anthony.